Society is trying to make you as soft as possible so that everybody feels good about themselves. Like if you're fat, whose fault is that? Yours. And I'll tell you that straight up. That's because of the things you put in your mouth. Ain't nobody forcing shit in your throat. But everybody wants to be body positive. Let's celebrate fat people. Why? They're gonna fucking die because they're fat. Yeah, y'all laugh. This is the truth. Again, don't care. You're fat.
It can be genetic.
That's bullshit. That's a fucking excuse.
What's good, YouTube? This is KB LaFleur. You can call me KB. Welcome back to another video, man. We got some teachers being teachers. Actually, the teachers that kids really need in today's society. But before we get into that, man, do me a huge favor. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, leave me a subscribe. So I came across two of these videos, man, of these teachers trying to keep it real with students, man. And I don't know if these teachers are going to be able to keep their jobs. We understand that the system is not going to push shit that kids need to learn. We're not going to push shit, man, that men need to learn to grow up, to be able to continue the society, to be able to fix things in the society. Because we all know men fix things in the society, right? But we're sitting over here in high school, we're learning about some stuff, man, that we're learning about they, them. We're learning about pronouns, right? Which is crazy. We're switching grammar now. We're over here learning about, you know, not hurting somebody's feelings, you know, trying to make sure everybody feels accepted, you know, learning about stuff, man, that doesn't benefit anybody when they get older, right? So these teachers are just keeping it real, and they're just saying, man, listen, like, you got one teacher who's saying, man, y'all kids need to really not even worry about loving and dating and all that stuff back in high school and middle school. And I agree with it to some degree, but I will say that your kids need to date, right? And I'm gonna leave it there. We're gonna talk about it at that video. But you also have this other one, man, where this teacher is sitting over here saying, man, look, this is how society is treating y'all. Like, y'all, everybody's getting coddled. Everybody's being coddled. We having all these excuses of why somebody is being fat and why somebody can't lose weight when they just don't want to lose the weight. But let's go ahead and jump into this.
Society is trying to make you as soft as possible so that everybody feels good about themselves. Like if you're fat, whose fault is that? Yours. And I'll tell you that straight up. That's because of the things you put in your mouth. Ain't nobody forcing shit down your throat. But everybody wants to be body positive. Let's celebrate fat people. Why? They're gonna fucking die because they're fat. Yeah, y'all laugh. This is the truth. Again, don't care. You're fat.
It's sad that teachers just can't stay fat. It's sad that teachers have to play along with what agenda has to be pushed. It's sad that teachers have to play along with certain shit. And I appreciate it, and I respect teachers like this. I always love to listen to teachers like this because like they're gonna teach, but they're also going to try to teach you about real life, about what's going on in real life in society. I remember, man, back in high school, one of my teachers, we just sat there, we sat down and just talked about life. We just talked about life. My teacher at Winston-Salem State University, I ain't gonna say the teacher's name, but he taught us about what it's like to be a man, what it's like to just be an adult, right? And this is in college. He is telling you what you need to know in real life, right? He tried to teach all the kids, all his students, about life, about what to expect. He is trying to prepare us for that. When it came down to job events, he made sure everybody in that class went to job events. He tried to help us network. So you can only respect and you can only love teachers like that. I can't stand teachers, man, who just come to school, you know, hey, here's the lessons, and keep it moving, right? Because you're really not showing like you don't really show. Well, I'm not even going to say that because some teachers just come over here and try to get their job done. But here's the thing, right? You got some teachers, man, you have teachers who actually care about their students and actually want to see their students succeed and understand how hard life is, right? They understand how hard life is. But it's sad, man, that teachers like this get fired for saying stuff like this.
It can be genetic.
That's bullshit. That's a fucking excuse. It can be genetic, yeah. Guess what? My entire family's fat. I'm not. I'm one of the most in shape people around here. I do marathons. All my parents are fat. My parents are fat, and so is my brother. That's not genetic. That's a fucking excuse. That's okay. That's fine. That's the mindset y'all have. Let's find an excuse. It's somebody else's fault. It's always somebody else's fault. I couldn't get to class, coach. Whatever. It's somebody else's fault. It's not your fault. Take responsibility for yourself. Okay? No one cares, especially when you come to my class. And y'all probably...
And I love that, man, because he said, man, it's an effing excuse. See, here's the thing, right? She's talking about, oh, you know, they may have thyroid disease. We hear that so much from women. We hear that so many times from women. A lot of you women say, oh, well, what about people who has thyroid disease? People understand, man, that people who have thyroids, I think only like less than 12% of people have thyroids. Less than 12% of women have thyroids. Less than 12% of women have thyroid issues. And even then, that still can't be an excuse, because I promise you, this is my solution. If I kick you in a hole for 2-3 months, right, and I just feed you lettuce, greens, tomatoes, everything, man, every vegetable in this world, and feed you a healthy diet, I promise you, you'll lose that weight. But see, we have people who just make those excuses, right, and get upset when somebody sit up here and say, hey, maybe you might need to go to the gym. Why you fat shaming me? It's all now we're in a society, man, where everybody's coddled. Everybody's coddled. Everybody got to be accepted. Everybody got to be accepted. Oh, you got to accept me for being 7,000 pounds. Like, what? Now, you know what I'm saying? You have people getting upset that, oh, well, you have these restaurants that don't accommodate for fat people. Y'all remember, man, back in the day, man, when you used to see certain clothing online or on the TV, you say, damn, I want that damn dress, but I'm too big. Don't you remember you used to say, you know what, hey, if I want to get in that dress, let me lose the weight. People used to lose the weight to get into a dress, to fit in something that they want. Right now, it's just, you know, hey, we're just going to create it for all sizes, right? And then you look at Target. They even have a whole section for bigger women. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen one for men. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist for men, but I have not seen one for a man or for men. But I see it for women. They're going to advertise the hell out of that shit, right? Because women are impressionable, right? But once again, right, it's funny because women sit up here and say men date younger women because younger women are impressionable, but all women in general are impressionable. It's just that some are damn stubborn, and some, you know, hey, once again, you date a girl that's way younger than you, she's going to be easier to train, right? She's going not even going to say train. Not even going to say train. She's easier to work with. She's coachable, right? She's coachable. Let's just put it that way. She's coachable. I'm just going to leave it at that. But this society tries to make excuse for unhealthy behavior.
We should understand that by now. We're almost 20 weeks into school. Some of y'all still don't understand how it operates. Some of y'all still don't understand if you just turn your work in, you'll pass this class. Okay? The people who do, you're like, yeah, it's fucking easy. I don't see how you're failing. But I mean, there's over 50% of this class that fail. That's all it is. And that frustrates me as a person, because I just feel like I'm wasting my time talking to a bunch of idiots who don't give a shit. That's frustrating as a teacher. I wish I could be in my position. They've got heads up now because Coach Dippy's throwing the F-bomb out everywhere. It's amazing how many people pay attention now. I don't need you repeating it. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, y'all pay attention now because I'm fired up. Because it's annoying. 5 minutes ago, most everyone else's head was down. And I'm just talking to a blank audience. That's just...
And like I said, man, you can only respect and love teachers like that. I was always engaged in school. See, I hated schoolwork, right? I hated schoolwork. And you know what's funny? He was talking about the 50%. Like he said, 50% of his class is failing. But I mean, you hear a bunch of niggas in there. All right, let's just be real. Let's just be real. And y'all want to sit over here? Oh man, that's messed up for you even saying that. I got a story. So back when I was at Winston-Salem State University, my first year there, that was 2018. My first year there. Half of our football team was failing. Our coach said that if the football season had ended mid-season, right? Because that's where we were at. We were in mid-season. If football season or if the quarter ended mid-season of the football season, right? Half of the football team would not be there because we were all being eligible, and I was a part of that group. But y'all have to understand how hard it is to be a student athlete, right? I was a part of that 50%. So yes, and guess what? Winston-Salem State University is an HBCU. Around a bunch of niggas. Let's just be real. So of course he's gonna have a damn 50%. Of course he's gonna have a freaking 50% felon rate up in his class. But here's the thing, man. Like I said, you can tell this teacher right here cares. He cares. He cares, right? And of course, he's sitting over here saying, man, listen, now y'all want to listen to me. Now y'all want to listen to me. Sometimes it be like that. Sometimes teachers got it. Sometimes students tend to be more receptive to teachers who are like this. Instead of just sitting over there just teaching and then going about their day, students are way more attentive and way more appreciative of teachers like this. Why? Because these teachers actually show that they care. And this is stuff that we actually want to talk about. Y'all will be surprised. If you're a teacher, you will be surprised, man, how many kids in your class will actually pay attention to you and actually want to learn if you are a teacher that's like this, that actually try to engage with their students. And listen, I would be lying if I said, man, this teacher, it doesn't seem as if this teacher is trying to project what he got going on back in his past or in his marriage. It seems like, man, it's personal to him. It's very personal. You can only respect teachers like that, man, because number one, it takes a lot of balls for a teacher to be that blunt with their students because their job is on the line. Right? When teachers tend to be this blunt with damn students, they end up losing their job. They end up losing their job, right? This is why some teachers just don't even care. They just say, man, look, I'm here to get paid and keep it moving. But teachers like this, man, you need. But once again, right, this system is not going to allow it, man, because you're going to have too many teachers really wanting to speak out and say how they really feel. And it's going to mess up the agenda some of these systems have going. If you know, over here in Texas, I believe they took Black history out of the curriculum or something about slavery. Like, why would you take that out of the curriculum? Why would you take slavery out of the curriculum? That's part of Black history. That's part of what we went through. Why would you erase that? And we all know why they would erase it. But once again, right, if you have teachers like that, they'll sit in and be like, no, in this class we're gonna talk about it, they will get fired. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say you have to respect and appreciate teachers like this. Hell, teachers like this need a raise. Hell, students need to see teachers like this and say, hey, mom, listen, I mess with this teacher because he's very blunt, right? Regardless of his opinion, he's very blunt. And the fact that he's willing to put his job on the line just to simply tell us how we should be living, tell us, man, what to expect when we get older. Once again, you can only respect that. Now, he's sitting over here saying, man, listen, you don't need to be dating. What's the purpose of dating, man, if all your relationships is going to fail anyway, right? And that's understandable, right? The high school relationships and middle school relationships, I can understand how it's not how you really shouldn't even care for, right? A lot of your parents will say you don't need to be worrying about no boyfriend, no girlfriend. But it's funny because the parents went through the same thing that these kids went through, right? And I'm just saying, for you parents that's in your 30s, 40s, 50s, when y'all were 10 years of age in middle school and high school, you wanted to date. You knew how it was to be a kid, and you understand that for a lot of you people, y'all relationships in middle school and high school, that helped build you today. A lot of people learn from a lot of their partners that they had in middle school and high school, right? Some of those relationships shaped that person, i.e. me, right? When the girl sat over here and saying, well, I want to date this man, and I'm sitting over here dating her, and I'm like, yo, like you disrespecting me, you about to sit over here and date this dude. She still dated him anyway, right? Came back to me, and I still took her back like a dumbass, right? So stuff like that helps you. And this is why I say your kids have to date, right? Because a lot of your kids, man, be sheltered, be in high school, be in middle school, sheltered, don't ever go out, don't ever go do anything. Because sometimes they're just so hooked, they're just so homebodies, or their damn parents shelter them too much. Their parents won't allow them to, their parents tend to be strict. We all know about the strict parents, right? I dated a girl, man, who had a strict father, right? But now look at her, all over the place. When you look at some of these people, the parents hold them in the home, won't let them go out, won't let them really experience life. Then when they go to college, they turn into something else, right? They turn into something else. And I've seen it. One girl go from a virgin to sleeping around and, sleeping with homeboys and all of this stuff. And I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, like this is not the girl that I knew beforehand. Not what. But once again, right, she didn't go out. She was always a homebody. She never really went out. So then you go out here, you go around kids, man, who've been to parties, who've been all out, who has experience, who has lived that college life, and a lot of your freshmen lived the college life back in high school, right? So you had a little innocent girl or innocent boy go over here, mess around with these folks, get with the wrong crowd. But I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. And what I mean by that is you're going to have people, man, who's going to be potheads on the campus, drug heads, whatever, drug users or whatnot. You're bound to walk into those guys. And some people might be bound to, some people might think, like they just think that, hey, you know what, let me try it one time. Hey, some might not. But once again, right, understand that when they do get out of your possession and they're around a bunch of other people who aren't as influential as you would like them to be, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to say, well, damn, maybe I had that boy a little too sheltered, right? Because now they don't know what to do in that situation, right? So I just say relationships have built a lot of us. Relationships have built a lot of us, even at a young age, in high school, middle school. You need those relationships, right? He's saying you don't need them. I'm saying you do. You need them. You need them because once again, that builds you. That builds your character. That builds personality. That builds who you are today. So, you know what I'm saying? Once again, you got people, man, who don't, like a lot of your men who don't date girls, who didn't date girls back in middle school or high school or whatever. Then they get to a girl. They don't know the ins and outs of that girl. They don't know the in and outs of a woman in general, right? So a woman gonna be sitting here walking all on this dude, walking all over this dude, right? So, you know, man, like I said, y'all let me know down below. Do y'all think these teachers, do y'all respect teachers like this? Y'all do me a huge favor, man. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, leave me a subscribe.